What is good, everyone? Welcome to today's trade recap of the day. Today is Thursday, November 13th, 2025. I'm going to be going over today's price action. The two trades I ended up taking, I took one loss and then one win that ended up netting me $53,398. This is my biggest trading day of the year. I am so freaking stoked on this. Absolutely insane, and it was literally just using my mech model that I teach for free on YouTube to you guys every single day. Absolute banger of a trade, biggest trade of the year. 1 to 4 risk to reward, 161 points, absolutely insane. And this is what happens when you get that new day opening gap as the draw, and you basically top tick this move. This is what happens. And let me show you guys the P&L, of course, for my pocket watchers. Here we go. Absolutely insane. 27 accounts, $2,000, hit the refresh, and there it is. So I'm really hyped. I took a loss right before this. I was also really A+, so I do want to get into that first before showing the win. But let's do our charting on NQ first because I took that one on MNQ, but let's get into it. Okay, so coming into the day, right, I had a very strong bearish bias, right? As you guys saw from yesterday, right, I took shorts coming into yesterday, targeting this low resistance liquidity, but I targeted like the low-hanging fruit that was resting right above that, right? And those shorts ended up playing out. I banked hard yesterday. And this was still like my draw coming into today since we didn't take out yesterday, but then pre-market ended up ripping, taking that out. And from here, this is really the condition, right? And I was really heavily bearish. Honestly, I was not looking for any longs. I'm not sure if Patrick's going to post his like live trade recap, but we were on FaceTime again. But like his recaps keep getting taken down. But anyways, I was talking to him on FaceTime and I was like, listen, we're definitely going to want to fill this new day opening gap today. Like if we start trading below this, we are going for this, right? This is like a no brainer, right? Whenever I see a new day opening gap, I first end up putting up my size. So I'll start risking, pretty much 1% to almost 2% when I see a new day opening gap because of how strong that draw is. And two, I will risk a lot basically on the day because of how strong this draw is. It's really like my most high conviction draw on liquidity when it's presented. Other than like a data low or high, I honestly have more conviction for a new day opening gap draw and a new week opening gap draw. So really great that I ended up, capitalizing on this. And we ended up having this move lower, right? Displacement lower, obviously going towards this. And at this point in time, I'm like, okay, if I get any sort of pullback, I'm looking to target this because again, it's very rare that we honestly like had a move like this and then this with the new day opening gap. This was like a much bigger retrace than I expected. So I wasn't expecting that big of a retrace, right? But we traded back into the second 5-minute rally gap in this leg. That was a little bit more discounted here, which I did like a lot. And then from here, we did end up making a little SMT at this high, right? And at this time, we were creating a 15-minute rally gap. And I know a lot of people were like, why did you take this short against a 15-minute rally gap, right? Two reasons, right? One, we had an SMT. And two, it really wasn't even because of this. The main reason, and you guys will just see this if you backtest a lot, you will start seeing this pattern present itself, but it's called a breakaway gap if the bias is truly going to be bearish and if we're going to go to this. Okay, a breakaway gap is essentially where we can have a range like this, right, where we have, for example, a 5-minute rally gap in this range. We trade into it, then once we start trading away from it, if we open up after that, after we've already mitigated this area, a 15-minute gap, this gap is most likely going to just be an unfilled gap, and this is going to be a breakaway gap. So we're not going to retrace into this, and it's not necessary for price to retrace into this to go lower. Because we already mitigated this range, right? So that's just one thing that you have to be paying attention to is like, should you long shorting against a unmitigated gap? Like yes, but also this range has already been mitigated. Give me 1 second. My building's calling me. Hold up. Let me pause this. Okay. But yeah, that's pretty much it, right? So that's what I was expecting, right? And we had my perfect A+ model present itself, right? We mitigated into this range, which EQ this range, great pullback, really obvious draw on liquidity being this unfilled new day opening gap, right? We never filled this on, on Sunday open, right? We never filled this. So great draw. And then the highest time frame inverse from this manipulation leg, from this low to this high, was this 5-minute IFEG. And I took this on MNQ. I risked a little bit lower. I think I risked around 1%. So I usually risk anywhere, guys, from 0.5%. For me, I'm trading 100Ks, right? So I'll go over it, but pretty much my risk management. I pretty much risk around 0.5% to 1% every trade. Right. So what does that look like? That looks for me, since I'm trading on 100Ks, $500 to $1,000 every trade. Right. So on this trade, I risked like my max, which was like $1,000. And I risked that with like using MNQ contracts because the stop loss was here. I forget how many MNQ I entered with, but yeah, I took this on MNQ. And then this ended up getting stopped out. And I was completely fine with this, right? I was completely fine with the stop out. And at this point in time, I'm like, where is price most likely going to go? Again, I don't expect price to go all the way up here, right? I don't want price to seek all these highs because we have this new day opening gap. It's a really, really strong draw. The market is going to go to this today. And I just knew it was going to go to this in AM session. So I was really looking for like, where would we reject off of? So we started displacing higher, right? And also, guys, this first loss, like I was talking to a lot of people in my Discord about this, and it's like, this first loss was extremely, extremely A+. Like, to me, this is everything I want to see in my model. We have a pullback into a key level. We have our 5-minute IFEG. This is my bread and butter continuation setup with a really obvious draw. Like, I will take this 10 out of 10 times, right? And that's just what it's about. This is what trading is about, having conviction in your model every single day to execute it, no matter if it's a win or loss, because in the end, you know it's going to be profitable if you keep executing on that model, right? And if you keep having that same conviction. Right, so I didn't lose conviction after this. I was just simply seeing where the market could be trading towards, right? So I did see this really obvious 930 high here, right? So I set an alert here on ES and on NQ, right? We ended up having also an unfilled 5-minute gap, setting up for what? My mech model, right? Boom. ES takes this out, right? Once you guys also see like 930 wicks like this is a really, really strong like draw on liquidity as well as rejection area. And then what do we get? Boom. Beautiful 2-minute IFEG with a 3-minute IFEG as well as the same time as a close. I got like a pretty bad fill just because I got in a little late. And I was risking around pretty much that 151 points to make 164 points with a 1-to-4 RR. So ridiculous. Ridiculous setup, ridiculous trade. And this is my mech model, unfilled 5-minute, right? So rejection from here, SMT at this high. Beautiful displacement through this gap. Then we had an unfilled 5-minute as our break-even point and our draw on liquidity, right? I love the mech model for really 2 reasons. One is if we are going to be bearish, right, we will trade to this, and then we will break this, and then you can take it down to here, right? So you don't have to wait for this to break and then get a much worse risk to reward like here. Instead, if I see a mech model presenting itself and I'm really, really high conviction in this trade, then I'm taking this on the close. All right, does that make sense? So that's really what I'm looking for. If the mech model does present itself, I'm taking it, right? I'm targeting this because then I can go break even here. Now, let's say my bias is wrong and this ends up hitting this and then we start going higher. Okay, then my bias is wrong, then it's just a break even trade. Or sometimes even maybe I'm not even confident in this draw all the way down here, then it's just like a 1-to-1 and I'm out, right? But I'm really confident in this. And you guys, well, if you guys watch through all my trade recaps, I very rarely target like targets like this, but it's because it's a new day opening gap and it's kind of hard to like tell you guys like conviction and teach conviction through a screen and teach conviction without you guys like actually, I don't know, like being in the markets. Like I've been in the markets for over 4 years now. I've seen the new day opening gap get filled like so many times day in and day out, day in and day out to the point where I know it will get filled, right? So it's really was just like a conviction thing on this setup and me holding towards this new day opening gap. So really, really happy with this, man. Again, it's very rare. I'll shoot for honestly a risk reward more than a 1-to-1 as you guys have been seeing, but this just happened to be, I got in on a really good price point with my entry model, and the draw on liquidity was there and I was willing to hold for that. So yeah, that's it. That is pretty much it though. I don't think there's much else to go over on this day. We did end up filling this new day opening gap completely. I could have also, held for the full fill, but man, I was up way too much. Like sometimes we could like wick out and then like do something like this and then fill later. So I was fine with just like taking it to this. But yeah, I mean, absolutely insane trade. As you guys can see, I'll show you guys the executions on my first loss, which was on M&Q here. First loss was here, right? I think I'm gonna stop around like here or something. And then, yeah, but A plus loss for sure. And then an A plus win back to back. Honestly, I would even say like this short was even better than this one, right? And I know people are probably gonna be like, this key level like wasn't that great. To me, the key level made it that much greater because of draw and liquidity. Like draw and liquidity is always going to be my like the first thing I'm looking for in a setup is draw and liquidity. And then I'm looking at key levels to get rejected off, and then I'm looking at like my entry model, right? But draw and liquidity is always going to be like where my setups revolve around. Everything's reverse engineered around my draw on liquidity. So it's like, sure, I can have like a little bit of a mid key level. I can have maybe a mid like reversal point, which really wasn't like, this was a really beautiful like 3-candle invert, like fuck you candles through these gaps. Sorry for my language there. But yeah, right? So that's pretty much what I'm looking for, right? So that could be mid, but as long as my draw liquidity is there, man, and as long as like I have a good break-even point, which I did, like I'm so willing to take this trade, right? And yeah, man, that's really it. I don't really have much else for you guys, other than I'm gonna keep trading my model, and probably won't see another big day like this in a while. Like this was my biggest trading day of the year, so again, probably not gonna see another trade like this for a while, but it's definitely cool when you get trades like this and the market rewards you after. Bro, I've been like, I had a basically like a break-even month last month, as you guys saw from like the trade recaps. I was up like 15K. And then the start of this month was really shitty and boring. But then one trade, bro. That's all it takes, man. So one big, one to fucking 4RR banger. Thank you guys, though, so much for watching. I'm not going to hold you here any longer. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys want to start copy trading, use TradeSyncer, code PB for everything. Links in bios for that. And then I'm on currently 3 different prop firms right now. I'm trading with MFF, Alpha Futures, and also Apex. I have 20 accounts with Apex. That makes up the majority of my accounts. And then I have 3 with MFF, 3 with what's it called, Alpha Futures, and then I'm also going to stack in some Tradeify soon. And then I'm going to start adding in my live account. I'm just waiting to get accepted right now by AMP. I think I'm going to start trading on an AMP account, I'm pretty sure. Anyone that has a live account, let me know what's better, AMP or Tradeivate. I used to use Tradeivate, but I heard from a couple other people that AMP is a lot better. So definitely going to be putting these profits into my AMP live account soon, and we'll get moving with that. And other than that, guys, I mean, I don't know if I'm going to trade the rest of this week. We'll see. If Friday's something A+, then 100% I'll be taking something. Yeah, Sunday I have a great video coming out talking about all the lessons that I've learned through trading ICD concepts. So definitely go watch that video on Sunday when that comes out. And other than that, guys, peace out. If you made it this far into the video, comment the word banger. If you made it this far. Peace out, guys. Have a good rest of your Thursday. Peace.